the raid is now over, and I did pretty good in it. Let me show you. I didn't even try for the top prize. I did get the battleship. I got the battle cruiser. I got the assault torpedoes and the destroyer. I have made a destroyer. I was going to use this way to show this. This little guy has a 1 Thud 4, 1 Havoc 4, a little bit of armor, engines 3, and the armor is to fit. I mean, it's at max weight. Took it out one time. I'll show you what it looks like. It's a stupid little boat. It actually looks a lot bigger than what it's probably supposed to look like. I mean, scale-wise, it shouldn't really be that big. So it's whatever. I played against I think that guy. He took like 5 thuds, and 5 sea wolves, and I got one shot off before he killed me. It actually had crazy evade, which was kind of neat. And then what I'm building is I'm building a battle cruiser with this will be the lead ship of the Kudas for fighting humans. If I'm fighting a computer, I don't want this. I want the gunboat. Sonar 3 gives me 75 sonar range, which is good. Engines still slower than the Kudas. Guidance Scrambler, because honestly I couldn't think of what else to stick on there. Guidance Scrambler will help against torpedoes, so it's a lot better than it helps against torpedoes, missiles, and ballistic. So I couldn't decide between like layered armor, reactive armor, but I did pick this for missiles, which gives me a 42%. I think it already had a decent ballistic defense. So I got almost 50% evade, which is pretty cool. And I put the assault torpedoes on it. So that's like maybe a 7-day build, 7.5-day build. So working on that. The other thing during the raid, these ships, I got basically 3 stripes on all of these ships during the raid, so that was pretty cool. And what we're looking at here right now is I have all rippers, Siege Cannon S. I think I have 1 in each one except for the last one. Yeah, this one I never got around. This one I ran out of time and wouldn't have been able to put a Siege Cannon on there. Funny thing is, it's actually closer to being to the next level rank than all the rest of them. That's actually kind of hilarious. And they did pretty good. So during the raid, I was using these boats. I have a fleet of these, which are Cutlass Missile 3s with Guidance Scrambler 3, Reactive Armor 3, Solid Fuel Booster 3, and just that touch of armor to keep it instant repair. And then I was also using this one, which y'all have seen before, just tons of Cutlass missiles, whatever it takes to fit, enhanced warheads, reactive armor, to take out the fleets. And this I was doing 2 28s at a time, so this one would work on one, this would work on the other. And then what I was doing is, once the fleet's done, to take out the turrets, this one would take out one of the 28s, and then the siege missile fleet would take out the other 28. I did that for a little while until I was pretty sure that I wasn't going to run out of time or anything, and then I quit using the siege missile fleet and started only using the strike cruiser fleet, just so that I could rank them up. Because the siege missile fleet actually did better. I guess the distance helped other stuff from shooting at them all the time. The Rippers have such a short range that everything's firing at it. When it gets in within range of something, there's tons of stuff firing at it. So they take a lot of damage. And the armor on here is very, very light armor. There's not a whole lot of armor on here. I'll just put the armor up there just to get the percentage increase in protection from missiles. So that's basically what I've been doing. And just to show y'all, because some of y'all say, oh, you don't do a lot of videos, and I tell you, oh, I've been hitting a lot of cargo. let me prove to you how much cargo I hit. I now only need 1, 4. I need 5 parts, and I will have finished all blueprints. I have all of the siege cannons, all of the assaults, all the impacts. Have all the strikes, all the assault missiles, all the siege missiles, all the shockwaves, all the assault siege mortars, the last one to finish. All of the stupid rockets that nobody wants. And then these were event ones, and you don't get those. I finished all of the hull streaming, all of the cargo holds. You can't find those. Can't find those. And you can't find those. So I only have 5 pieces left to find. I found 3 more today, so that took me down to 5. Just my luck. This one will finish first. And my last thing will be Siege Mortar S, which is the coolest of all siege mortars. That is the awesome one. So I am out killing all 28s that I can find. And that's how I go to hit cargo. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. It just goes and does it. And then this fleet is upgrading because I need to keep hitting stuff to get them ranked up. I need one of those ships ranked up before this ship is done, so that I can put real armor. I'm going to start putting real armor on it, so I can take it out and hit some lighter bases with the Rippers. You know, as I'm working on the siege cannons. And if you don't know any leftover points, you get some resources for them. Not much, but you get a little bit. What else is going on? One of the things that I think I really need to start researching is the Caterpillar drives, with the advent of these new ships that are available to a lot of people that have the sonar, you know, boosting. If I'm gonna use the Kudas, which you know, as long as they have these torpedoes in the base invaders, more than likely any new event will probably have torpedoes too. You know, the Kudas are probably not going to be the greatest ship for events, so I probably need to refit them to actually handle real humans. And I think Caterpillar drive over thrusters is probably going to be a much more important thing to do. So I'll start working on that. But that's it. I mean, everything else is done in here. And then the base one, the base specials, there's still a number of things to work on. And I was just randomly picking things. Not that I'm going to use them, but I have learned that, you know, just keep researching stuff. Research the stuff you want first, but you know, when you run out, just keep researching, because 6 months from now, the stuff that seems stupid and was the most useless thing in the world is going to be the most important thing in the game. So go on ahead and have it researched. You know, when I started the game, Cutlass missiles were the dumbest weapon to use. Nobody used them. I mean, there was a time when, and this is slightly before me, there was a time when rapier missiles were better than Cutlass missiles. And nobody would use a Cutlass missile. They're like, well, they're slow, and they're not accurate, and blah blah blah, all these different things. And then solid fuel boosters came out, and I invested all of my time and energy into hardened barrels and that sort of stuff, and so I was way behind the curve on that. So my lesson learned was just keep researching stuff, even if you think it's dumb now. You know, at some point they're going to totally change up the game, and it's going to become very, very important. So I think this question comes up every once in a while, so I'm going to show you what I'm using for these fleets. And I think we've talked about on the comms, not me and you, but in the sector and maybe on the forums too, that I think they actually nerfed down the defenses on the cargo ships. The cargo ships are actually a little bit easier to kill than they used to be. Not by a ton, but by a little bit. So what these ships have 4 assault missiles, and then 2 hailstorms, and one of them has a random assault mortar because I thought I was being cute one day, and I thought, oh well, maybe an assault mortar will be good. This was when I was going to put it on a it's going to be mainly my base defend fleet. I'm just not a big. Assault mortars is a big letdown. So, but predominantly what it is 2 hailstorm Bs, and then 4 assault missiles. If you got at least 4 of these in a fleet, you're probably good. I had, well, maybe you'll get hit by a random mortar every once in a while if you only have 4 ships in the fleet. There's usually a lot of 20s down here. I have been killing these things like nobody's business today. And pro tip, if you're going far away to something, don't click on it. Click right next to it and then come back and do it. Especially you miners, people that want to mine. Don't click on a mine if you're more than about 30 seconds away from it and you're not watching it. Click next to the mine and then come back to it and then engage the mine. Otherwise you're going to end up engaging with somebody that got there 2 seconds before you did. It's not a problem on cargo because you can hit if somebody's on cargo and you have clicked on it, you're not going to engage with them. It's just going to error out. Now after they finish, if they haven't moved and then you show up, well then now you're going to engage in a battle because you're trying to take their cargo. So click next to something, don't click on something. Oh, something else somebody wanted to see. They wanted to see my base with, if I do this and then if I do this. Okay, I'm going to hold it here for a second so they can pause, but it's basically 3 water this way. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 water this way. Your dock is snipeable from back here. I have had somebody come in here and take out the dock, and that was a funny little story. I don't know if I told you about that one. He sniped the dock. He was just going around everybody's that he could hit and snipe the dock. Well, I went to his base pretty much as soon as my dock repaired, and sniped his dock because I could reach his, and then he came back and sniped mine again. It's like he wasn't even paying attention to whose dock he was hitting. He was just, and then he realized, oh, well, he hit mine, I'm gonna go hit his, blah blah blah. So you know, you count out if you're trying to copy somebody's base, be able to see the blocks makes it a whole lot easier. But just count them out. There's, you know, it's a little hard to see here because they sort of overlap, but these are right on the squares. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. The rest of them are very obvious how they work out. This one's not obvious, but this is only 2 wide. Because if you really notice that these are all touching. There is no walls going this way, which is honestly, it is one of the negatives of the base. It is susceptible to splash. Just FYI. I don't actually recommend this design for a lower level person until your bombard rockets are level 4. This is not necessarily the best design in the world. This one is sometimes might be snipeable from this direction. I think this one might be safe now, but could be if they really get in that corner, they could maybe take that one out. This one I think is reachable, but the hardest one to deal with because there's a lot of EMs firing and it's protected by basically 2 flak. So that one's technically snipeable, but very, very difficult. This one is not snipeable, but it is the first thing. It'll be the first one that dies when you come into a base. This one is the one that is definitely not snipeable in any way from any direction. However, when they start mortaring this, you're going to die from splash. It's just FYI. my goal generally nowadays for defend fleets is the turrets are for traditional fleets. The defend fleets should be tailored towards blitzing fleets. You know, or really, if your rest of your base is designed to deal with blitzing fleets, then you're, you know, make your ships complementary to your guns. You know, if you want to, let's say you have 5 VMs and you're really about, you know, the whole VM thing, and you want to overwhelm them. You know, this ship right here, make it all, you know, shockwaves. Just so that, not so that you kill their ships, just so that you overwhelm their hailstorm, and then the VMs can hit. You know, that's an interesting thing to do. But don't make them all mortars, just this one right here. You know, these two need to be long-range weapons so they can shoot. They can shoot, you know, this guy. It'd be really good if he's shooting way up in here. So keep him a long-range gun. Maybe this guy, or maybe even this guy. They can be some shorter range guns. Somebody was asking on the forums, what's a good ballistic? You know, they don't have Goliaths and stuff like that, but what's a good ballistic for a defend fleet? And honestly, I'll tell you the best one for a defend fleet. I'll tell you why. This one right here. That's the best one for a defend fleet because of that right there. Splash. Everybody clumps all their ships together, and I'm really going to talk about blitzing fleets, but everybody clumps all their ships together, and then they run them through. Well, what screams I can kill you fast if they're clumped together? Splash. You know, Howies are interesting, but in a clump of 5 ships, and Howie's only shooting at one of those ships, whereas like a Cerberus rocket is hitting all of those ships, or a VM would hit all of those ships. Well, a splash cannon, if it makes contact with one of the ships, it's splashing to a range of 4, whatever 4 means in this game. And but if they're all clumped on top of each other, I'm pretty sure they're within a range of 4. So they're all going to take some level of damage. If you go watch YouTube videos of them blitzing and with the Goliath fleets, you're going to see every once in a while you're going to find a Goliath fleet that has a siege cannon S on it, and you're going to see them take a ton of damage, or you're going to see them focus fire that one ship and ignore all the other ones. So that really tells me that that's a powerful gun. Takes freaking forever to put them on a boat. If you try to do a whole boat of them, it's going to take you a month. Not a month, but it's going to take you a long time. It's one of the longer build times. No, that's not upgrading to a 5. That's just fortifying. I think that's basically like an update of what's been going on. Actually, let me show you this. Let me pause for a second. I figured I'll show you what I was actually doing on the 28s right here. I'll bring in the, and I started way before they got there. Start the missile ship from down here. Slightly, if you can get it slightly to the left, that for me that worked better. And then the other one will be, doesn't really matter where I started out at. We'll see. Actually, I think I usually would stick him right, not northwest, but and not dead center, but slightly above center. This is all if you're going to run it on the AI for this guy, which in the beginning I did, because as the siege missile fleet and this guy would take out the turrets and stuff, I would go start repairing all the other ships. And you can accumulate a lot of points pretty fast if you're doubling up on these 28s. And let's see. So you need to be about right here. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. All right. The only problem is when you're running 28s, when you're running 2 at a time, if you leave and try to go back into it, the probability of it rendering correctly is not good. Come on, be full. you're full enough. You're going to get the idea. Okay. So if I'm doing it all by itself, I will scroll all the way over here. Oh, no, let me go. Actually, let me set this guy. I will scroll all the way over, and I'll set it in this direction. Now the reason I came in the bottom and going to the left is all about, and we're not going to have all the ships in here, so you're not going to quite get the idea, but the way the ships, like there's two of these guys, and one of these guys. Well, it ends up being that if I go to the left, the first one I encounter, which would be this battle cruiser and this battleship versus that battleship and that battle cruiser. I don't know. Yeah. No. This battle cruiser and this battleship are the stronger of the two. This battle cruiser and the battleship that would have been there are the weaker of the two. And I think that these on AI is going to shoot at the stronger of the two. So if I send it to this direction, what would happen is on the AI it would start shooting at the weaker one, and then when the stronger one showed up, then it would switch, and then you have two ships firing at you. Whereas when I go over here to the left, the first one it encounters is the stronger ship, so it continues to fire at that until it's dead, and then it shoots at the other one. So I actually finish a ship and then move to the next one. Finish a ship, then move to the next one. Finish a ship, move to the next one. I take a lot less damage by going over to the left. Now, if I wanted to control it, what I would have done is I would have stopped about here, and then, because the other one will exist at some point, and then slowly move forward every little while just to stay ahead of the next wave of ships. But coming in at an angle, making them travel kind of far away, it actually separates them a reasonable amount, and so that they don't all clump up and they're not all shooting at you at one time. It's a lot easier and a lot more efficient to kill them off one at a time than it is to let them all clump. And they would fire a whole lot more and take a lot more damage. I think I usually would end up somewhere. We'll see how far this one goes, but you can assume double damage because they were all about half dead anyway, right? Actually, they were slightly more than half dead. I'd maybe somewhere in here for the damage on the on these guys. And then I will pause while this stupid thing is going to move up here. Now, just a reminder, these are no armor ships. They don't have any armor. They have the enhanced warhead and their cutlass missiles. Oh, you can see it right here. 3 4s, 2 3s, and then a 2 and a 1. And honestly, if I had Shipyard 2, I could have more cutlass missiles, because Shipyard 2 helps with Forsaken items like Forsaken armor and Forsaken guns. The cutlass missiles are like the only thing Forsaken I use anymore. So, or like Rippers and Thuds, but they don't really weigh that much. That I haven't bothered to upgrade. Now you're going to see the kind of damage this thing does to it. You won't do near this damage to a turret on a with assault missiles. And just standard cutlass missiles, you're not going to do quite this damage to it with Seawolves, because this holds more guns and it has enhanced warheads. So typically what I can do is I can take out this turret, I can take out this thing, and I can take out this thing with the Sea Scorpion fleet. And if I time them right, you start moving them. Ooh, am I hitting a 28? You start moving them before you really get there. Well, honestly, at this point, I should have already lost a ship, I think, because I would have taken more damage from the ships, because somebody's already come in here and put a little work into the ships. Because traditionally I can finish that. I'll come here with the last. I have one of these that is assault missiles, and because it lays back a little bit, it's the last thing that gets shot at. And typically this is right where I'm taking my first shot at this thing. And I'm not going to kill it, I'm just going to sort of weaken it a little bit. You can see the Howies are what really kills these things. So then what we do is we follow up with, me say yes, thank you very much. Always killing cargo. And in this one, I would typically actually not even bother to touch them, because the direction I'm bringing them in, the AI doesn't do a horrible job. And with what I left it, the AI doesn't do a horrible job. I built it so that it's going to hit it's built a triangle. See, it's built here to here, so it's going to come in here, and then it's either going to shoot here or here, and then they might split between the two. It all depends on which angle I come in as to whether they split or whether they all stay together. And you can save just a little bit of damage by having them constantly moving. But if you're really trying to get a lot of points and you're running two fleets at the same time, that little bit of damage I'm going to end up coining anyway. It doesn't... If you're going to run coins, it doesn't really matter if it's 31 minutes. Well, 31 minutes I only pay for 30 minutes. But let's say if it was like 40 minutes versus 50 minutes. You know, that's 2 coins either way. And then it's going to come up here and kill this one and then immediately turn. Now if I was controlling it, I would start turning it right now. And it would take less damage. But in all reality, you know, it's fine. I don't have anything else to repair right now. I'm just going to keep burning these fleets until they're ranked up anyway, so I did learn today, don't send these on AI with when the fleet is still in there, because the mortars will just wipe these guys out real fast. They have very little resistance to mortars. There's no hailstorm on them, and that's what I would do a whole lot of. Do a whole lot of those, and then on the sea scorpions, they're not anymore. But when you're doing the raid, they're not 11 minutes. They're 5 minutes and 37 seconds. So you can let it run for 37 seconds and then do the speed up. And since they're not quick repairs, we'll just repair them all in one big block. And then usually what I would do is I would look to see if there's when the other fleet comes in, if I can take them out in such a way to speed up some of them to reduce it, so I can reduce the number of coins I'm using. You know, I think I allowed myself $10, 100 coins, and I used all but one. And while recording this video, I used the last one so I could actually show you the actual base hit. So, you know, I spent $10 to make this video. I mean, 10 cents to make this video. But that's about what I've been up to. I'm still hitting the cargo hard because I want to finish those 5 pieces. I'm gonna be burning this fleet to. I want the first one ranked up before I stick armor on it. First one, I don't care which one. One of these. So I'm gonna be putting armor on it, and then see, because if this is during the raid, this would probably be an instant speed up. The damage is balanced across all of them, which is actually a really good thing, because if you want to not spend a coin, balanced damage is the best thing you can do, because that means you can speed up all of these, you know, in relatively the same amount of time. This one probably would have been wait maybe 3-4 minutes and then speed up sort of thing. This is probably maybe a wait 5 to 10 minutes and then speed up sort of thing. Not too bad. So, anything else? I think that's about it. Probably getting ready to bore y'all now. So, I know we'll call this a wrap. Talk to y'all later. Bye.